Welcome back to Bluehaven, all travellers of the infinite skies, to a video entitled How to Never Need to Mine Anything Ever Again. Almost. This is Pathalas here on Bluehaven, broadcasting to you live from Stone's Throw Glasshouse, which is far too close to that portal there for anybody to be able to visit me, so I thought I'd start from here. But here we are. So, what's the aim of this video? Well, wrong button. First of all, hello. What I'm trying to show you here, I've been doing some research using a very good website, which I've put the link in down below. It's nms.swebsol.co.uk, and that's a brilliant resource for finding out refining recipes. And as you know, if you've gone into the realm of refining, there's lots and lots of recipes. So I wanted to make sense of some of them and suggest the best way to use your resources. So the objectives of this are to minimise the storage space that you need to keep everything that you would need ever, to allow you to manufacture everything that you can possibly make with a refiner, almost. And this is the almost in brackets because you can't refine the activated elements as far as I know. If any of you know how to do that, then please let me know, drop me a comment, but I don't think you can. I think you have to go and get those from Planet. And to be able to regenerate those stores without ever needing to go mining anything ever again. So that's the objective. Let me show you how to do it. First of all, because I can't walk around my base in third person mode, let's get back here. Okay, let's go downstairs. Let me in, please. Thank you. You can see all the trees that have grown back through my base and the amazing amount of terrain that's regenerated. Anyway, here we go. In order to be able to make absolutely anything in the game that you can refine and to never need to mine anything again, this is what you will need. First of all, you need some floor that loads in. Thank you. Right, hopefully my front door will... Here we go. Right. Now, I had a man-eating creature here earlier. Let's hope he doesn't come back. Right, you will need an oxygen harvester. Okay, let's get some oxygen from the oxygen harvester. I won't recharge that just yet, you'll see why in a minute. And you will need some atmospheric harvesters from which you can get nitrogen. That's if you're on a lush planet. Okay, I've got 3 of those there, so I might come back to some of those later. In addition to that, let me just get inside in case the Nastysaurus comes back. Welcome to my engine room here. Oops, if it will let me in. Yes, there we go. You will need some refiners. You will need at least medium refiners, but you will also need a large refiner for some of the bits and pieces. Okay, I've tried to empty my inventory for this, and this is what I'm going to start with. So, using only a small amount of magnetized ferrite, I've got, what does that say, 30 units there. 10 units of gold, 20 units of condensed carbon, 20 units of ionized cobalt, 30 of dihydrogen, and then 10 each of the coloured elements there. You can make an infinite supply of everything that you need to refine. Don't believe me? Well, this is how. Okay, number one. First of all, talking about iron. If you've got some magnetized ferrite, I mean, if you've only got pure ferrite, that's okay, because you can turn pure ferrite into magnetized ferrite. It's 2-to-1 ratio, I think, every 2 pure ferrite to 1 magnetized ferrite. But then, if you put into your refiner, you can see I just got some oxygen earlier. I'm not cheating. I've just got some oxygen just in case my atmospheric condenser outside isn't going fast enough. Oh, I hadn't spotted my chromatic metal. Sorry, I won't cheat and use that later. I thought I'd got rid of everything. Right, so magnetised ferrite. If you put your magnetised ferrite, and you need 25, but the game will only let me reduce the size of stacks in tens, so imagine that's 25 units of magnetised ferrite and 50, let's not cheat here, let's get just 50 units, 1, 3, 4, 5 of oxygen, then you can make rare metal element. Okay, now that takes a reasonable amount of time. So while that's going, let me explain my premise. Almost all of the resources that you need have a condensed form, have a form that can store a load in one unit of something. In terms of iron, it's the rare metal element. If you can make a rare metal element, you can turn the rare metal element back into 150, I think it is. Yes, 150 pure ferrite. Okay, so if you've used 50 pure ferrite to make 25 magnetised ferrite, and then reacted it with the oxygen you've got from your refiner, you can make one rare metal element, which you can then turn back into 150 pure ferrite. And you can keep cycling that round as many times as you like. That means you can make as much magnetised ferrite and pure ferrite as you could ever need. So my suggestion is you make your rare metal element, you store your rare metal elements. Whenever you need anything in terms of ferrite, you break one down, you make your pure ferrite, you can turn it into magnetised ferrite. You can even turn your pure ferrite into ferrite dust, but I'll show you how to do that because that's a little bit more complicated for some reason later on. So I'll just demonstrate that. It's 85% complete. There'll be quite a lot of waiting for refiners during this video. I apologise for that. I don't have the time or the skills to be able to edit this video later and speed things up. But there you go. So let me demonstrate this. Let's put that magnetised ferrite back into my wrong button, into my high capacity inventory. So I'll stick that there. So rare metal element, which I just made using 25 magnetised ferrite and 50 oxygen. If I stick it back over there, I can get 150 pure ferrite. And watch how fast this is. Zoom. 150 pure ferrite. Now if I take, let's put it back there, and then if I take 50 of my pure ferrite, let's put that back into high capacity, let's see what I'm doing. 50 pure ferrite makes 25 magnetised ferrite reasonably quickly. There we go. And then 25 magnetised ferrite plus 50 oxygen. Hang on, let's get 20, 30, 40, 50. Will make rare metal element. There we are. Okay, so you can hopefully see there that if you keep say 5 rare metal elements in one slot somewhere, you can always make an infinite amount of ferrite. Okay, I'll leave that going. Second trick, the special gases. You saw me get some nitrogen out of my atmospheric harvester there. For some of these recipes you will need a little bit of some of the other gases. You can actually convert nitrogen into sulfurine, and you can convert sulfurine into radon. Now if you just do it that way, you'll see it takes 3 units of one gas to turn into the next gas. But if you add a little bit of oxygen from your oxygen harvester, it does it in a 1-to-1 ratio, so you can make as much of any of the gases as you like, so long as you've got that infinite supply of nitrogen sat outside your base. So in a minute I'm going to need some radon. How much radon am I going to need? Look at my notes. I'm going to need... No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm going to need some radon. Okay, and I'm going to need to make some of that. So right, I'm going to need 10 units of radon. Let's just do that for now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units of sulfurine. That should take no time at all. Okay, let's put my nitrogen back over here, and then let's put our sulfurine over there, and I should be able to make 10 units of radon. There we go. I might need some more later if I haven't thought this through correctly. Okay, so you can get radon. Let's put that into there because I'll use it in a minute. You can use radon. Sorry, you can harvest radon from frozen planets and one other type I can't remember directly, but I just want to be able to stay on my own planet and get things done that way. So while I've been doing that, we've got another rare metal element here, so I'm going to just break that down quickly because I'm going to need some magnetized ferrite. So let's convert that to... No, in fact I won't. I'm going to put that into high capacity storage for later, because I've also got some pure ferrite that I made a minute ago, haven't I? Here we are. And I'm going to need... how much? 10 units of magnetized ferrite. Yes, so to make 10... I'll need 20 units of pure ferrite, and then I'll put the rest away for later. There we go. Right. Put it into my exosuit, and let's put that away for later, because the next thing I'm going to need is a large refiner. Right. The next most useful thing is uranium. Okay, actually I could have done that over here. I will. Uranium is very useful, of course, for refueling your starship. And what you need is that magnetized ferrite I was talking about, and the radon that I made a moment ago. Magnetized ferrite plus radon makes 3 units of uranium, and I'm going to want 30 units of uranium in just a moment. So let's do that. So I've got an infinite supply of magnetized ferrite, I've got an infinite supply of radon gas from my harvesters, so now I've got an infinite supply of uranium. So if I go back to my large refiner now, and I put in here that uranium I made, 30 uranium plus 60 pure ferrite, which I have enough of here, 60 pure ferrite, plus, now you noticed when I started I've got a little bit of gold, 10 gold, here we are, makes lemium. Now lemium is the next magic storage metal that I want to mention, because we want to be able to make silver, gold and platinum in an infinite supply. Okay, notice I started with 10 gold to seed the process. Now with this recipe you can see here, look, it's going 10 to 1, 60 to 1, 30 to 1, right? It's making 1 lemium, but I've only used 10 gold. I've got an infinite supply of ferrite, I've got an infinite supply of uranium, so I've just needed to start with 10 gold. Now it's going to take a while for the lemium to refine, so the idea is when I break down the lemium, it's going to make me 150 gold. So I've gone from 10 gold to 150 gold. Now if I use my infinite supply, let me just get a bit of... Oh, I'm going to have to break down... I've got a little bit of magnetized ferrite there. Let me get my rare metal element, because I'm going to want to do this again in a minute. I'm going to need some more uranium. Yes, so let's break down my rare metal element into pure ferrite. Dead quick. Let's get some pure ferrite. Let's put... Oh no, hang on. Put the whole thing there. And let's have 100 pure ferrite there, and stick the rest back in there to make some magnetized ferrite. There we are. And then I'm going to add it to some more radon, so let's make some more radon. So I've got my nitrogen. How much nitrogen do I want? I wanted 10 radon, didn't I? So I only need 10 nitrogen. Put the rest back there, and 10 oxygen. That's right, put that back in there. Let's make 10 sulfurine. Meanwhile, let's get my magnetized ferrite there ready, and sulfurine there, and oxygen there. 10. Okay, let's make my 10 radon. Now, of course, because I was trying to start with the minimum amount of everything here, I'm having to make things again from scratch every time. But of course, you'll be able to do it in rather larger quantities. So there we go. Let's make our uranium. There we are. Uranium back in there. Spare magnetized ferrite back in there. And back over to the large refiner. We've made our 1 lemium. Right, we started with 10 gold, didn't we? Right, so stick the lemium there. We can now make 125 gold. Alright, magic, just like that. Then we only need another 10 gold. Let's put that back in. Yeah, high capacity. 10 gold. Our 30 uranium that we made a moment ago. And some pure ferrite. Here we go. 60 we need. 60 pure ferrite, and we can make more lemium. Okay, so there you go. So you've got an infinite supply of gold as well now. Now, the other thing you can do with your gold is you can turn it into silver. Now, to do that, we need some pyrite. So, back to a medium refiner. In order to make pyrite, we need a little bit of gold, and we need some oxygen. Now, I'm going to need to make 30 pyrite, so I'm going to need at least 15 gold. Did I leave some gold? Here we are. Okay, let's see if I can do this exactly. That would be fantastic. 15 gold, and we need something like 15 oxygen. I haven't got anything ending in 5, so let's just put 20 in. 12, 22. There we go. Right, so we can make 15 pyrite. That's supposed to be 1 to 2. Oh yes, maximize it. There we go. 30 pyrite. So we can make some pyrite, and then the magic recipe for making dirty bronze is we need 30 pyrite, 60 pure ferrite, and 10 gold. Oops, wrong button. So let's get our pyrite there. Let's put our oxygen away for future use, and then let's go back to our large refiner, which is nearly finished making our next lump of lemium. Let me just check while that's going. Have I got enough pure ferrite? So Oh, I broke it down, didn't I? I've got a little bit of pure ferrite. We're going to need some more. So, if we need more pure ferrite, what do? We take our magnetized ferrite. Sorry, let's go back over here. Magnetized ferrite, and I need 25, and then we take some oxygen. Okay, I'll just stick that in there. We make rare metal element, and then I can break that down into pure ferrite. Okay, I'll do that in a minute. Right, so what was it doing? Lemium. Stick that in there for later. Okay, so in order to make dirty bronze, we need our 30 pyrite. We need our 60 pure ferrite. Have we got enough yet? We've got 10 there, and we've got... No, I'll have some when I break down my rare metal element in a minute. But then we also need 10 gold. I said we could turn gold into silver, and this is how you do it. Alchemists worked for years to do this. There we go. We're going to make a dirty bronze. We need a bit more pure ferrite first. How's this getting on? Now, what I want to suggest to you is when you've got a store of a few rare metal elements, I'm going to have to stick another one on to do in a minute, because I used up the last one to show you something and I wasn't thinking. Every time you break one down into pure ferrite, make another one, and then you'll always have the same amount in storage. Okay, so I'll try and live by that maxim in a second. Well, a few seconds. So how are we doing? Let's take a stock take while that's cooking. Using only oxygen, nitrogen from the harvesters outside. There, I started out with a bit of magnetized ferrite, a bit of gold. I'll put that there. I haven't used any of these yet. By just using magnetized ferrite and gold, I've been able to make some lemium, which will give us an infinite supply of gold. I've been able to make some rare metal elements, which hopefully will... Here we are. Rare metal elements, which will give me an infinite supply... Oh, hello. That's just gone back in time, isn't it? Is that a glitch? Yeah, that was nearly done there a minute ago. Never mind. Anyway, so we've been able to make rare metal elements, which gives us an infinite supply of ferrite. In fact, let's see if I've got enough magnetized ferrite to make another one. How much is that? I can't read it. Have you got any more of that? Bit. Any more? No, I can't put any on to cook yet, can I? Put that there ready. Yeah, just need a little bit more. Okay. Let's get in there. Okay, so I'll be able to have an infinite supply of gold, be able to have an infinite supply of magnetized ferrite and pure ferrite, and therefore ferrite dust. I can turn those into uranium using some radon, which I've used from my converted, there it is, nitrogen with the oxygen. And so now, as soon as this is ready, oh, look, did you see it? Did you see it jump back then? It was on 97%. As long as it doesn't use up all my resources. I'll sit here and watch it this time. Time is glitching. Tum-ti-tum. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant, it's done it this time. Okay, so let me put that back in there. No, put it there for a minute. And that back in there. And let's put that over here and turn it into pure ferrite. and this is what I didn't do last time, automatically turn some of that back into magnetized ferrite. And I need 25, don't I? So let's put 50 in there. Let's put that back in there. So 25 magnetized ferrite. Okay, put that back in there, and then right, magnetized ferrite. There we go. So we need where are we? Yes, to make another rare metal element we need 25 magnetized ferrite and 50 oxygen. Good. There we go. Okay, right, back to where we were. So, in order to make dirty bronze, we need 30 pyrite, we need 10 gold, and we need 60 pure ferrite, which I now have. So 10 plus 50 makes 60, and we can make some dirty bronze. Right? When you break down dirty bronze, you will get 150 silver. And you can also then make more dirty bronze using 30 pyrite, 60 pure ferrite, and instead of 10 gold you can use 20 silver. So dirty bronze breaking down to make 150 silver, you can use just 10 of those silvers, sorry, 20 of those silvers to remake another dirty bronze. So you would now have an infinite supply of silver as well. And the good thing about this is, if you ever need platinum, all you need is to react gold with silver. So we've got an infinite supply of ferrite, we've got an infinite supply of sodium, sulfurine and radon and oxygen from our harvesters. We can then have an infinite supply of uranium. We can then use the uranium to make an infinite supply of gold. We can use the gold to make an infinite supply of pyrite, and we can use the pyrite to make an infinite supply of silver. Okay? Now it's worth mentioning at this point, while the dirty bronze finishes off, that you can also, once you've made uranium, it's a little bit wasteful, this process, but if we've got an infinite supply, it doesn't really matter if it's wasteful, does it? You can use your 250, sorry. You can use your uranium, react it with some pure ferrite to make pyrite. You can react that with some pure ferrite to make paraffinium. You can react that with pure ferrite to make ammonia. You can react that with pure ferrite to make dioxide. You can react that with pure ferrite to make phosphorus. You can react that with pure ferrite to turn it back into uranium. Now every time you do that, it's at a 2-to-1 ratio, so you're losing a bit every time. But if you've got an infinite supply, that doesn't really matter. So I broke down my dirty bronze there, and just to show what we're doing, we're going to take 20 silver, just check my figures, 20 silver, let's put that back in there, and we're going to add, if I've got enough, nearly, some pure ferrite, and we're going to add the, what did I make? Pyrite. I don't think I kept any, did I? Okay, we'll go and do that again. Leave that there a second. So, what did I leave going in here? Rare metal element. Put that in high capacity. Right, we can break down some magnetized ferrite into some pure ferrite. Okay, let's do that. So then we've got enough pure ferrite. And we also need to make some more pyrite, which is gold plus oxygen, so I can do that. Pure ferrite in there. I know there's a lot of going backwards and forwards here, for which I apologise, but you get the idea, don't you? That once you're building up your infinite supplies, what do I think? Pyrite. So, did I leave any uranium in my stores? No. So that means I need to take some. Oh no, it's gold. Sorry, not. I've got some gold. Again, I need 30 pyrite, so I need at least 15 gold and 15 oxygen. So let's have some oxygen. Alright, that's at least 15 oxygen and some gold. That's at least 15 gold. Let's make our pyrite. I actually need 30, don't I? So let's do that. Let's not be wasteful. And there we go. So let's put our pyrite in there. Let's put that back in there, and that back in there. And let's go back over to the large refiner, and let's stick the last ingredient in. So silver, 20 silver, 60 pure ferrite, plus 30 pyrite remakes our dirty bronze, but we've gained, wherever I put it, the silver in the meantime. Okay, so infinite supply of silver. Okay, so in our storage then, we're keeping rare metal elements, we're keeping lemium, and we're keeping our dirty bronze. So we've got infinite supply of ferrite, infinite supply of gold, infinite supply of silver. So far so good. It's worth mentioning that you can use Herox and Arolium. I can't pronounce that properly. Aromium or something like that. Both of those will turn into 250 gold, so you can use that instead of lemium. But lemium is the heaviest metal there is, so I'll leave that there. Right, next, carbon. Okay, you see I've got some 20 condensed carbon here. Right, so infinite supply of carbon. What you need is you want, did I overreach myself here? Did I need a bit more carbon than 20? Oh no, I can do this, because what we need to make is, we need to make 50 condensed carbon and 50 carbon. But what I can do is this. You've got your 20 condensed carbon. Magic trick number 1. We need 50. We need 75 of this at least. If I take an oxygen, let's put 20 oxygen in there, then we can make 6. Oh, I'm going to need more oxygen, aren't I? Let's put another 20 in. Sorry, twice as much oxygen as you have condensed carbon, and you can multiply your condensed carbon by 6. So let's make 120 condensed carbon. So first of all, there's a magic trick to remember and keep in mind for multiplying your condensed carbon. But it doesn't stop there. One of my objectives, if you remember, was to minimize the amount of storage space you want. So we've got our condensed carbon. You can turn condensed carbon, and I only want about that much. There we go. You can turn condensed carbon into carbon at the rate of 1 to 2, so you can double it for your carbon. So let's have 60 carbon. Then as soon as you've got at least 50 carbon and 50 condensed carbon, you can make 50, there we go. And where's our condensed carbon? 50 of that. Carbon crystal. 50 of each makes you a carbon crystal. Again, that will take a while to make. So, what's the point? Well, when you've got a carbon crystal, you can break down one carbon crystal to make 150 condensed carbon. If you've got 150 condensed carbon, you can take some of that, turn it into carbon, and then remake your carbon crystal, leaving you with quite a lot of condensed carbon left over. So if you've got carbon crystals, so long as you remember to remake a carbon crystal every time, you can have an infinite supply of carbon. That can recharge your weapons. You can use it to build all sorts of things. So we've not only got an infinite supply of ferrite and gold and silver and therefore platinum and uranium and what else is it, pyrite, and all the other things you can make out of those things, then we've now got an infinite supply of carbon. So while that's going, next thing, very, very similar. There are several elements that do exactly the same thing. This is the next one, right? You saw I'd started off with a little bit of cobalt. Okay? Cobalt plus oxygen, again in a 2-to-1 ratio, so let's go for 40 oxygen, will multiply your ionized cobalt by 6. By the time you've done that, you can turn ionized cobalt into cobalt at a ratio of 1 to 2, which I'll show you in just a moment. Oh, has our dirty bronze finished? Yes, let's put that back into high capacity. There we are. Okay, so ionized cobalt, we want to put about 30 in there, and that will turn into 60 cobalt. Here we are. Put that 60 cobalt there, and our... Now I don't need 60, I just need 50 ionized cobalt and 50 cobalt, and I can make tetracobalt. Okay, now 1 unit of tetracobalt will break down to give you 150 ionized cobalt. So not only can you multiply your ionized cobalt by 6 by reacting with oxygen, but you can also turn some of the ionized cobalt into cobalt. 50 cobalt and 50 ionized cobalt makes 1 tetracobalt. Break it down, you've got another 150 ionized cobalt. So you've now got an infinite supply of cobalt as well. And it doesn't take up so much room. So let's put our carbon crystal into high capacity and take stock. High capacity, please. Thank you. So we've got, there we go, metal element, rare metal element. Each one of those will make, forgotten how much, loads of notes, 150 pure ferrite. Lemium makes 150 gold, no, 125, sorry, gold. Dirty bronze makes 250 silver. Carbon crystals make 150 condensed carbon. And in a moment, when it's finished, our tetracobalt will make 150 cobalt. There's one other thing you can do, which follows exactly the same rules, and that is sodium nitrate. Did I remember to keep some sodium nitrate? Did I remember to keep some sodium nitrate? I don't think I did. In that case, how do I make... Ah, that's why. Because you can make sodium nitrate from nitrogen. How much do I need? Sodium nitrate. I only need a bit, don't I? About 20. So, let's try having just 10 nitrogen and 10 magnetized ferrite. Have I got any magnetized ferrite left, or did I use it all up? I've used it all up. Oh, so, okay, that's no problem. We can get some back. Let's put our nitrogen away for a minute. We need some magnetized ferrite. What do we go for? We take our rare metal element. We break it down into 150 pure ferrite. We take some pure ferrite. And how much do I want to use? I want to use what do I want? I want 25 magnetised ferrite to turn back into rare metal element, and I need another. I need 10, don't I? So 1, 2, 3. So that's our 25. So let's take another. Right. And oh hell, where did I send my pure ferrite to then? Was it the spaceship? I wasn't paying attention. Okay, let's just convert that. The further I go down this story, the less well prepared I am. Where did I put? Hit. I think it went to me. Yeah, there it is. Let's get that back. I've hidden all the rest of my artifacts on my ship so that I only had those to start with. Right, so there's our magnetised ferrite. I'm going to use this one to put 10 magnetised ferrite in, plus our 10 nitrogen. I'm doing this with the smallest possible amounts, so we get 20 sodium nitrate. There we go. And let me just start off remaking our rare metal element so that I can get it again next time. So I need 50 pure ferrite, and I need... oh no, don't. What am I talking about? Sorry, put that back. 50 oxygen. There we go, and 25 magnetised ferrite makes one rare metal element. So I've got it back again. Right, okay. Back to the sodium nitrate story. So, sodium nitrate, which we've just made from scratch from the nitrogen from the atmospheric harvester and magnetised ferrite, which we broke down from our rare metal element. So we've got sodium nitrate. We can do the magic trick with oxygen, and we can multiply it by 6. Now we're actually going to need, what, 75 of that, so 42 won't be enough. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do, actually, because you saw me right at the very start go to my oxygen harvester, and I didn't have any condensed, or enough condensed carbon at that point to recharge it. So I'll just go and put some more in. Let's have our oxygen back, and then I'll leave that going. Right, sodium nitrate. I'm going to need more sodium nitrate. So let's have a bit of oxygen. How much oxygen I've got left? That's not much there. Okay, I'll do this bit first. I was going out of my way to try and prove how you can do this. Oh, that's going. Sorry. With just the barest minimum of things. So I'll probably end up having to wait a bit too long. Right, how much of this do I need? I'm going to keep some oxygen. Let's try putting 21 in there. How much can I make? Condensed carbon. I need 50 to power up the thing, so that'll do. I also left some things hiding on ships just in case I need to cheat. But that's only for the purposes of time, because as you've seen, everything works. Right, and I think that's my rare metal element finished, so let's put that back there, and then let's put some oxygen in here. Right, a little bit of oxygen in there, and we can make some more sodium nitrate. Now what do I need? I've got 42. Now I need 75. I'm going to need a bit more than that, so let's do that first. Right, let's go and feed the oxygen harvester. No, out through the door. Okay, oxygen harvester runs on condensed carbon. There we go. So that will give us some more oxygen back. I got nitrogen out of here, didn't I, before? And I didn't refeed that either. Have I got enough? No, I'll leave that for now. I've got 2 more if I need it. Okay, so where are we? Going dizzy, walking around platforms on my base. Okay, so sodium nitrate 72, that's nearly enough. I need 3 more. Have I got any oxygen left? No, so I'm going to have to cheat a little bit. Where did I put my spare oxygen? I have got some spare oxygen somewhere. Hold on a minute. Have I got any in storage? Got some more of those things, haven't I? What can I make oxygen from? Oh, I didn't think about this. How quickly do oxygen harvesters work? Oh, now this is another problem, that being in a big base, it doesn't load back in properly. You can hear all the plants loading in now, but it doesn't load my door. So I'll put this door in, which always works. Now there's some more condensed carbon. I could get some more of that. I'm going to get some of that. Right, that'll help me out later. Oh, I've got fussy sentinels as well around here. Right, how fast do you work? Not very quick. You got 49, you got 50. I'll take that for now. You keep working. Right. Okay, will the door let me in this way? No. Back in that way. Now, another ingredient which is a magic multiplier. What are you doing in there? Get out of my base. Useful things to have on hand are pugnium and also, sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. Here we go. Pugnium and copperite are also magic multipliers. Most elements, if you react them with pugnium or copperite, will multiply it for you. So what did I say? I needed 3 more. So let's put in the smallest amount of oxygen I can. And it's going to use up 1. So to make 3, that'll do. Right, sodium nitrate. So we've got, oops, put that back there. Right, we've got enough sodium nitrate now. There we go. So 75 sodium nitrate. We can turn some of it into sodium. Now I want 50 sodium. Go. Okay, and then just as we did with the condensed carbon and the ionized cobalt, if we take 50 sodium and 50 sodium nitrate, we can make our next magic storage solution. Destabilized sodium. Destabilized sodium will break down to make 150 sodium nitrate. So again, we have an infinite supply of sodium nitrate. Let's leave that cooking. The next thing we can do magic things with is dihydrogen. Now dihydrogen is a little bit simpler. I took, where's my dihydrogen? Yeah, here we are. 30 dihydrogen. 30 dihydrogen makes 1 dihydrogen jelly. Okay? And the amazing magic that dihydrogen jelly can perform is when you break down dihydrogen jelly, it makes 50 dihydrogen. So if you start with 30 dihydrogen, turn it into dihydrogen jelly. Admittedly, it takes a few minutes, as you can see, but then you turn it back again, you've got 50. And so you can keep doing that backwards and forwards, and you've got an infinite supply of dihydrogen. Why would you want an infinite supply of dihydrogen? I hear you scream. Well, you can turn dihydrogen into various other things. For example, you could turn it into copperite if you really wanted to, instead of growing it. With the addition of carbon, you could turn it into uranium by adding it to radon. You could turn it into condensed carbon by adding it to uranium. You could make ammonia by adding it to nitrogen, or you could make mordite, if you don't fancy going around killing animals, by adding it to condensed carbon. So that's quite useful. The other thing you can use your dihydrogen for is what I'm going to show you in a minute. You can turn it into salt. For that you need oxygen, and as you saw a minute ago, I'm running a little short on oxygen, so I wonder if I'll have enough. Now let me see. I'm going to want to turn my salt into chlorine. I'm going to want 50 chlorine, so I'm going to need 100 salt, so that means I'm going to need 100 dihydrogen. If you don't want to get your dihydrogen from harvesting those little blue crystals, then you can of course go mining asteroids, get your tritium, and 5 tritium makes 1 dihydrogen, and then you can do it like this. And once you've got your dihydrogen jelly, you don't need to make any more dihydrogen, you don't need to mine any more dihydrogen because you've got your infinite supply. Now, if you unpick what I'm telling you in this whole video, which means you're going to have to watch through the whole thing and make some notes. I'm not very good at making... there you go, 50. I'm not very good at making infographics. But I've got all my things doodled. Let's make another one of those. I've got all of my information doodled down on pieces of paper. If I get in touch with some of my friends who are better at making graphics than I am, then I'll try and post all of the instructions for this. But if you can watch my video, probably with your finger on the fast forward button, because I'm of course doing all this in real time, then make yourself some notes. You've got all the time in the world to follow this through, and if you do take all of these things, then you can make yourself your infinite supplies of everything. So we've got rare metal elements for all your ferrite needs, lemium for your gold, dirty bronze for your silver, carbon crystals for your carbon, tetra cobalt for your cobalt, destabilized sodium for your sodium nitrate, and did you see it glitch again? It's deliberately trying to waste my time. You've got your dihydrogen jelly for your dihydrogen, of course. So, right, the next thing which you can do almost exactly the same as your carbon and your ionized cobalt and your sodium nitrate with is chlorine. So, depending on how long this dihydrogen jelly takes to mature, I might show you this, or I might just tell you about it. What you can do is dihydrogen plus oxygen makes salt. Salt to salt make 1 chlorine. You can multiply your chlorine by 6 by adding it to oxygen, again in the same way that you've just seen, and then 50 chlorine and 50 salt makes chloride lattice. Break down your chloride lattice, it makes 150 chlorine, which you can then turn into a bit of salt again. Take your 50 chlorine, take your 50 salt, make another chloride lattice, and you can keep going it round, and you'll have an infinite supply of chlorine. Alright, Bob's your uncle. So there's another element that you can make an infinite amount of. if I come out of this and go back in, it's going to glitch, isn't it? So let me just wait for the last few percent. Dihydrogen jelly. Right, if I stick this over here, put my spare dihydrogen into storage, make another 50. Okay, there we go. What I want to do is I want to have 30 there to make enough dihydrogen jelly. Oh, hello, what happened there? Oh, idiot, sorry. Dihydrogen there. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I can't. Wrong button, come on. Yes, dihydrogen, I want 30 dihydrogen there to make 1 dihydrogen jelly. That's better. How much spare dihydrogen have I got? 40. That's not quite enough. I want to know. No, it might be. Can I make chlorine? Okay. We're going to go over here. Let's stick me 40 dihydrogen there. Add a bit of oxygen. Should be able to do this with 40 oxygen. There we are. And make 40 salt. There we go. I'm going to run out of oxygen shortly, so I might have to go back to my harvester and hope that it's finished harvesting. So here's your 40 salt. If I take 40 salt, I'm going to convert it all into chlorine. Notice you get half the amount of chlorine. But then as soon as it's chlorine, I can multiply by 6 with oxygen. Which of course you could just use that to give yourself an infinite supply of chlorine, but it's not good for storage. So how much oxygen? I've only got 7 left, look. Okay, let's leave that there for a second. Let's go and see how my harvest is getting on. I noticed there's a storm coming in, so this might hurt. I wonder, can I get out? No, I didn't leave that door there, did I? Is it going to let me out through the door this time? No, the steps have gone, look. Let me out! No, doesn't matter. Go through the side door. And there's a storm on. Hazards of living in this kind of environment. We finished? We have. Jolly good. Let's have some more oxygen. Thank you very much. Have I got any condensed carbon? Oh, a bit. Stick that in. Right. I know I've got an infinite supply of that. Oh, this rain really is quite hot. You see, this is the problem I have. This is why I can't walk around a house in third person mode, because I can't even get up the stairs in first person. Right, there we are. So 20 chlorine plus twice that amount of oxygen. So I want to put 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's put the rest back. It's not going to let me count properly. Alright, okay. That will multiply my chlorine by 6. Look. Now, I don't actually need that much chlorine. I only need 75. That's close enough. What's the next one down? 72, right. 75 chlorine. Then I'll put the rest away. I didn't need that because I've got that much. Anyway. Just trying to conserve my oxygen at the moment. There we go. Right, I'm going to turn some of that chlorine back into... Oops. Wrong button. Right, I need 50 salt. Here we go. 50 salt, and then 50 salt plus 50 chlorine makes 1 chloride lattice, and that 1 chloride lattice will make 150 chlorine, so I've got an infinite supply of chlorine. Excellent. So right, let's leave that going, because I think, there we go, my dihydrogen jelly's ready. So let's break that dihydrogen jelly back down into 50 dihydrogen again. Let's stick 30 of that dihydrogen back in there to make another dihydrogen jelly, and then I've got some left. So where have we got to? Right, rare metal element, infinite supply of ferrite. Lemium, infinite supply of gold. Dirty bronze, infinite supply of silver. Silver and gold can make platinum. Carbon crystal, infinite supply of carbon. Tetracobalt, infinite supply of cobalt. Destabilized sodium, infinite supply of sodium nitrate. Dihydrogen jelly, which we're about to make, infinite supply of dihydrogen. And chloride lattice, infinite supply of chlorine. And so, of course, using all of those, we can also make uranium, pyrite, paraffinium, ammonia, dioxide, phosphorus, and anything else I've mentioned, which I've lost track of. Right, so there's only one more category of products to tell you about, and that is the chromatic metals. Okay, now I'm going to wait till this finishes this time, because last time I went in it glitched and went down, didn't it, to about 40%. So let me clear my refiners. Now, what am I going to need for this? I'm going to need some silver and gold for all of these. And I'm going to show you something magic again. Now notice, while I'm just waiting for the last few percent of that, I started off with 10 units each of copper, cadmium, emerald and indium. Right, you can only get those by mining them. Copper you can find in quite a lot of different places. Cadmium from red star systems, emerald from green star systems, indium from blue star systems, which you need to upgrade your hyperdrive on a starship to get at, or use your freighter warp to get there. But once you've got a little tiny bit to seed this, I can show you how to make an infinite amount of each of those. That gold is looking lonely. Let's stick it back in there. Okay. So I've got my chloride lattice. Stick that in there. I've got my dihydrogen jelly. Stick that in there. Right, good. Is that it? Did I empty this one? Yes. Okay, so what I want now is some silver and some gold. So, did I keep enough left over? I've got some silver, I've got some gold. Good. So, for my first trick, I'm going to show you how to multiply copper. So, into your large refiner, has to be a large refiner this one, you take your 10 copper, and we are going to now notice, right, copper by itself, every 2 copper makes 1 chromatic metal, but if we add the same amount of gold, so we want 10 gold and we want 10 silver, we're now making 5 chromatic metal out of every copper. Okay, so we're making 50 chromatic metal. Alright, and remember, we've had an infinite supply of gold and an infinite supply of silver, so we've got plenty of that. If you've got a tiny bit of copper, you can do this. Now this is going to take a while, as you can see, so I've just used up my only copper. Is this a problem? Do I have to go back and mine some? No, I don't, because I'm about to show you some magic. Oh, hang on. Wait a second. I'm going to stop this because I do need... Stop. I do need a little bit of copper left. There we go. Otherwise I'll be stuck. So that should work. Okay. Ha! Phew. I'm glad I noticed that. Okay. Actually, hang on a minute. How much chromatic metal we made? Stop. Tell you what, let's stop there. I'm getting a bit twitchy about my copper. Right, let's put that back into there, and that back into there. Alright, so I've made some chromatic metal. If you have chromatic metal and copper, then look, you can make copper. But look how much we're making. 4 copper for every unit of chromatic metal or copper. Right, so we made 5 chromatic metal for every unit of copper. Now we're making 4 coppers for every unit of chromatic metal, just because we added the silver and gold in before. We've got an infinite supply of silver and gold, so we can make as much copper as we like. That's why I needed to stop it before I used all my copper up. Alright, but after I've done this, it won't be a problem anymore, because now I've got 28 copper and some chromatic metal. I'll just stick that into storage. Right, 28 copper. I could add some silver and some gold. So let's have 10 silver, and let's have 10 gold, and I could make loads of chromatic metal. Okay, I'm not going to though. Let's put that copper back for a minute. Let's try it with cadmium. Okay, 10 cadmium, 10 silver, 10 gold makes 10 chromatic metal for every cadmium. Right? So let's just do 1 for now. Let's make 10 chromatic metal. Okay, let's put our silver and gold back again. Now if we've got a bit more cadmium left over, and we add cadmium to chromatic metal, now we're making 4 cadmium for every 1 cadmium we had before. So hey presto, we've managed to multiply our cadmium. You saw me there. I haven't done any sleight of hand. I'm doing all of this in real time. Goodness knows how long I've been doing it for now, but we started, there you go, and now we've got 36 cadmium. We started with 10, we've got 36. Okay, infinite supply of cadmium, as long as you never run out. If you ever run out of copper, cadmium or any of the others, you're stuffed. You'll have to go and get some more. But okay, for now let's try again with our emerald. We started with 10 emeralds, only 10 because I can't get any smaller than that, to be honest. I did work out that you can do this with, well, you just need a tiny amount, don't you? You can start with 1, you can still multiply it then. So let's have our 10 emerald, let's have our 10 gold, and let's have our 10 silver. Now this makes 20 units of chromatic metal. Okay, so let's go for just 20. Now of course it's all the same chromatic metal, so it doesn't matter which element you use to make it, but of course this is getting more efficient now. So copper gave us 5 chromatic metal, cadmium gives us 10 chromatic metal, emerald gives us 20 chromatic metal. So let's put our silver and gold back again. So we've used up 1 of our emeralds. Look, let's take our chromatic metal. Emerald plus chromatic metal makes, you guessed it, 4 emeralds. So let's have maximum output of emerald here. So again, we've made our 36 emeralds. So if I'd done that in larger amounts, I have an infinite supply of emerald. Put that back again. Right, one last trick to show you. Let's have our 10 emerald. Let's have our 10 gold. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our 10 cadmium. Let's have our 10 silver. Let's have our Indium plus gold plus silver makes 30 chromatic metal. So if you've got some indium knocking around, that's by far the best way of making chromatic metal. And guess what I'm going to do next? Put the gold back, put the silver back, chromatic metal over here. Indium plus gold, indium plus chromatic metal makes 4 indium. So we've got an infinite supply of indium now. And if you've got an infinite supply of copper, cadmium, indium or emerald, then you've got an infinite supply of chromatic metal. Put that there. Put that back there. And where was the thing we left cooking? No. Oh, I already emptied it out. So, what have we got? We've got our... There we go. Right. Rare metal element, infinite supply of ferrite. Lemium, infinite supply of gold. Dirty bronze, infinite supply of silver. Carbon crystal, infinite supply of carbon. Tetracobalt, infinite supply of cobalt. Destabilized sodium, infinite supply of sodium nitrate. Dihydrogen jelly, infinite supply of dihydrogen, believe it or not. Chloride lattice, infinite supply of chloride. And then, oops, we have any amount of copper, cadmium, emerald, indium, and you can make an infinite supply of those and your chromatic metal, which has disappeared somewhere. There it is, down there. Right, and notice, look, if you go back to the beginning of the video, all I started with here was oxygen from my oxygen harvester and nitrogen from my nitrogen harvesters. Everything else in here I've made during this video. You've seen me do it. Did I actually cheat at all? I can't remember. I know I went fishing for something at one point, didn't I? Was that for some carbon? Anyway, I could make that. So what have we achieved? We've got minimized storage space. I recommend just keeping a full stack of each of these things. Yeah, and that's going to take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 storage slots. Plus, if you want it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So that's 13 storage slots, and you can make anything that you can refine out of those. As I said at the beginning, the only thing you can't make in a refiner is the activated versions of these coloured elements. You have to go and fetch those from a suitable planet. But, okay, forgetting that, you can make everything. Second objective, you can make everything. Cover that. Third objective was to regenerate the stores without mining anything ever again. So if you just remember, every time you break down one of these things, you make another one, and then you use what's left over in your manufacturing instead of just using it all, because then as soon as you've lost one of those, then you'll have to start again. Most of the time you can start again, okay, but if you remake one of those every time you break it down, infinite supply. So there you are, how to have an infinite supply of everything, how to never need to mine anything ever again in No Man's Sky. I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you followed my stumbling explanation. If you've got the time, go back through the video, have a little pad and paper with you. But for now, this is Pathalas saying I hope you enjoyed my video and I hope you found it useful. Please leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if you've got any better suggestions. But for now, from Stone's Throw Glasshouse here on Blue Haven, I wish you all a very good night.